tell you what, can't believe there's more fanfare about me coming back to Cashmere Technical. Like, we did really well for the All Whites. Or at least I did. I did really well for the All Whites.
Hey, look, it's that loser coach.
We made the quarter.
Loser,
Oh my god,
loser,
poor Poppy syndrome.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 63 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with both the All Whites and with Cashmere Technical. And coming today, going to switch our attention back to our club team in the Southern League. First off, going to take on Nelson Suburbs in that competition. It's away from home too, so we're going to do a bus trip out to Saxton Field. Nelson Suburbs, a team with games in hand, so they could actually end up making their way into the National League Championship, hopefully alongside us. And off the back of that, and a month's break, we'll then take on Christchurch United, the other team who are right up there in the fight for a National League Championship spot in that Southern League in the Chatham Cup. Do an update on what's been going on in that competition and also a bit of a transfer update as well heading into these two games. So if you're looking forward to all that coming up in today's episode, as well as a recap of the latter stages of the World Cup, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but yesterday we did get knocked out of that 2030 FIFA World Cup. If you missed it, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. Surprisingly, actually played 2 games in that episode because somehow got past Brazil in the round of 16. So before we get stuck in to some Cashmere Tech stuff for the first time this week, fully in an episode, I'm going to switch over to All Whites mode and we'll just have a look at what happened in both the semi-finals and the final of the FIFA World Cup. So you can see our journey unfortunately got beaten by France in the quarters, but still a heck of an effort over those last couple of episodes with the All Whites. The other results in the quarterfinals, Norway got past the Ivory Coast. I think the other two you already knew before we did play that game against France. Portugal and Argentina made their way through to the semi-finals. So going forward to that stage, and Portugal did knock out France, the defending champions, after extra time by 2-1, and they end up playing Argentina in the final off the back of a 1-0 win over Norway. The third place playoff, it was won by France, as you'd probably expect. That scoreline 1-0 it was thanks to a Kylian Mbappe penalty on the hour mark, and the World Cup final was won 2-0 by Argentina, so they knock off the defending champions in the final. Just going to wait and see here who picked up the goals in that game. It was Lautaro Martinez very early on, as well as at the half-hour mark. Bernardo Silva actually missing a penalty to try and get Portugal back into that final in the second half, but Argentina are the World Cup champions in 2030, and like you'd expect, we were the overachievers on the post-tournament report that you do get in the inbox. There's a wrap-up of the FIFA World Cup. Thankfully, don't need to spend too long on it because we actually stayed there a lot longer than you might expect. So switching back to Cashmere Technical mode, before we get stuck in to these games and also the results of some we have played off the back of the end of our time at the World Cup, and also in and around that, have done some transfers because, as I mentioned during the course of that World Cup, our wage budget actually did get decreased, and because of that, have had to try and get rid of some players to just even that out a little bit, try and get some money here into the club so we can try and get under that wage budget, which these days is around about, I believe, £40,000 a week. In fact, it's lower, £35,000 a week is what we're trying to get under. So we've made some transfers, sold a couple of first team players. We mentioned one a couple of episodes ago. Adam White made his way to Al Ettifaq over in Saudi Arabia. £30,000, which to be fair, he's almost getting paid more than that a week, and he's valued extremely high, which kind of sucks. The other player, though, that we sold for money, those other players, they departed a lot earlier in the season. Also, Matt Ford from our B team, we might see him in that second game of today's episode when we take on Christchurch United. But Stephen Lopez was wanted by the Wellington Phoenix in the last year of his contract. And with this being a Builder Nation challenge, I didn't mind selling someone to the Wellington Phoenix. So Stephen Lopez went there for £50,000. Not that much of a wage hike for him, but still it does get a bit of wage off of our books for a player that we did pick up on a free transfer. Didn't stay here for too long at all. In fact, only about one season off the back of the end of the A-League. Last time around, 10 goals in the Southern League, but did pick up a few more in competitions like the Chatham Cup and the Champions League, and these days he is at the Wellington Phoenix, albeit still quite a way away from being eligible for the All Whites. So we'll see just how long he does stay there at the Phoenix, but seeing as we've still got Al Ghazali and Gilbert, did feel like striker was an area where we could let a player go. So that's what we've done in terms of sales off the back of that reduction of our wage budget. And also, we did actually bring in Tristan Turner on a free because he was a really promising deep-lying playmaker. Quite good attributes there for the former Western Sydney Wanderers man at 21 years old, and he was able to be signed on a non-contract. So quite happy to pick him up as an improvement over someone like Alessandro Lapane, who has dropped down into the B team in the final year of his contract. But that's what we've done in terms of transfers going into today's episode. Just a little bit of change off the back of that FIFA World Cup. And also, as I mentioned, going into that World Cup, we have now switched to a gegenpress. Just thought the vertical tiki-taka wasn't quite working as well as it could with this team. So we'll see if that New Zealand tactic can get the job done, especially off the back of that very successful World Cup that we did have using this exact tactic. So that's what's been going on with Cashmere Technical off the field. In terms of on the field, we have played the third round and the fourth round of the Chatham Cup. Got past St Albans Shirley, who are a local team, and also Seaton from up in the Wellington area. Bet those guys very comfortably 6-0 and 4-0. We'll do a bit of an update on the Chatham Cup before we play that second game of today's episode, because there's a decent gap between that one and the first one where we do take on Nelson Suburbs. But before then, we did play 2 games back in the Southern League, a 6-0 win over Ferry Mead Bays. That was actually very good because pretty much put out a full rotation for that game. So unlike earlier in the season where we were held to draws by Nelson Suburbs and Christchurch United, feels like the gegenpress doing a bit better with our rotation players, and also bet the new boys to the division in Roslyn Waikerie by 4-1. So things going quite well for us here since we have switched to the gegenpress and off the back of that FIFA World Cup. And currently we are on top of the table, 5 points clear of Christchurch United, and we've played one less game. But as I mentioned earlier, Nelson Suburbs actually have a game in hand on us, so they're actually in quite a strong position, you'd think, to maybe make their way into the National League Championship this season. Selwyn United not too far behind, but they're probably the only other team you need to think about in terms of getting into that National League from the Southern League. So this first game today is actually quite a big one. If we can beat Nelson Suburbs, we'd go 8 points clear on top of the table with only 3 games left in our Southern League season. So you'd like to think that would pretty much put this one to bed, especially with the teams we're taking on off the back of that Chatham Cup Quarter Final. Roslyn Waikerie, who are bottom, Selwyn United and Otago Uni should be picking up the points we need to lift the Southern League in those 3 games. But this one, if we lose it away from home, could make things interesting. Also would give Nelson Suburbs a big chance of finishing at least second in the Southern League this season. They've been a team who have pushed us at times in past seasons. Of course, as you saw before, did draw against us earlier this season. It's definitely a team we need to respect, especially away from home, and also with quite a few first team players a little bit tired going into this game, as well as a couple of injuries. Cullen Elliott's still out with that hip, and also Lorenzo Janssen is out with pulled ankle ligaments for 1 to 4 days. That's the case for both players. They should be available for that second game in a month's time in that Chatham Cup against Christchurch United, but 2 players are missing for this first one in today's episode. And as well as that, Justin Keat, he went on a holiday off the back of his big campaign at the World Cup. He'll also be back for that second game in today's episode. Definitely a player I would consider selling, but at the moment that MLS transfer window is closed, so the likes of the Portland Timbers and Charlotte, who apparently are interested in him, have not put any bids in, which is a bit frustrating because we do actually have the depth at right wing with both Nathan Walker and Gil Paquette still in the squad. That could actually fix our wage budget issues if we can get rid of Justin Keat. But as I said, Nelson Suburbs, if they can beat us here, that would be quite big in terms of the run home of the Southern League and also for their chances of making the National League Championship. But it's our first time going up to where I live in real life, to Nelson and Saxton Field, so we can do a pretty in-depth bus trip. Now, before we get stuck into this bus trip, this is actually, I think, the first one we've done since we've become a semi-pro club at somewhere which is not based in Christchurch, because if we go over and have a look shortly at the map and the distance between Christchurch and Nelson, definitely don't want to be driving there the morning of the game, but we are travelling on the day of the game, so because of that, no hotel needed for this bus trip, just a day trip up to Nelson. And as you can see, it's quite a significant bus trip. If we were going to drive all the way from Christchurch, about 5 to 6 hours, and that would mean a very early wake up and quite a late night. So because of that, not going to drive the entire way from Christchurch up to Nelson, even though I'm also quite familiar with that, having done that quite a bit in my university days. Instead, I think the safer option is to take about a 50-minute flight up to Nelson and just keep our boys nice and fresh. Hopefully, even though we're semi-pro, that is something that we can afford to do at Cashmere Technical. So because of that, going to start our bus trip at the Nelson Airport. And here we are. Unfortunately, can't go too much further than this here, because this is where the gates are to actually enter the airport. But over there, if we zoom in just a little bit, there is the new Nelson Airport, that one not too old at all, out in the Tahunanui suburb of Nelson near the beach. So this is where we're going to start. We'll just pretend here we've made our way out from the parking and we're about to go through the gates and make our way kind of past Tahunanui and to the suburb of Stoke, because that's where Saxton Field is, kind of in between the two main living areas here in Nelson of Richmond and the Nelson town itself. Actually going to avoid Nelson itself during the course of this bus trip. If at some stage a team like FC Nelson could get promoted up to the Southern League, then we can go and have a look at the town of Nelson itself. To be fair, I work in Nelson town. It's not been that great the last couple of years, so I don't think we're missing out on too much there, but we'll eventually try and make our way here down the driveway out from the airport, albeit currently it's going a bit slow, maybe because there's water on the side. We do know that in the past, bridges and water can throw off Google Maps just a little bit, but eventually making our way here towards the roundabout on the left-hand side there, all the car rentals where the sun is blinding everyone. But we'll make our way here past the Nelson Aero Club, and now we hit this roundabout and we want to keep going down past that one and go to the next one. Then we can take a right hand turn and head out towards both Stoke and Richmond. That is the way that we do want to go, so we'll go past here a couple more of the car rental places, hit the roundabout, and we can take a right hand turn. I'm pretty sure we're going here down Quarantine Road. I just want to make sure here, not that good with some of the names of the roads in Nelson, because to be fair, don't need to be, I've lived here for a while, but for some reason I've just gone backwards there. We'll just see if I can fix this a little bit and hopefully make our way around the roundabout, and eventually, hopefully we can. And indeed we are on Quarantine Drive after just a few misclicks there as we try and make our way around that roundabout. Down here, got some shops like Mitre 10 Mega. I'll show you it because it's a proper big one, unlike those ones we saw up in Auckland back when we were doing some trips up there when we first made our way into the National League Championship. But now making our way down Quarantine Road, this one is a very industrial area, as you'd expect, quite close to an airport. But going down a bit further, we'll eventually make our way here past all the airporty things and also quite a bit of car stuff that is down this road. Eventually going to make our way here past a petrol station, hopefully on the right hand side. Can give a shout out to the place here, which is in the gym. Once we make our way past that, down here a bit further past the bed shop on the right hand side there, City Fitness, but also a cafe, Blackbird Eatery. They cater my wedding. They're really good. If anyone in Nelson wants to go check those guys out, quite healthy food, but it is pretty good. We'll go past there, definitely can stop there for a snack before our flight after the game. But we'll go down here and make our way past Lightning Direct, and on the left hand side shortly you will see a decent sized Mitre 10 Mega, as well as what is the car museum, and also this used to be actually the home of the World of Wearable Arts Museum before all that stuff could get shifted to Wellington because money and whatnot. But over on the left hand side there is a decent sized Mitre 10 Mega. We'll just drive around a little bit more so you can see that one. It's a proper size Mega. That's what you want to be doing, Auckland. That one is absolutely massive, and it's only for Nelson. On the right hand side there, they are building a big new shopping outlet in Nelson Junction. So it's actually quite recent, August 2023. What we're going to do though is do a bit of a U-turn around the roundabout, so we're not going to go on the motorway and straight to the ground. Instead, we're going to go down Nayland Road and make our way up there and go past a bit of suburban Stoke / Tahunanui. We'll go down here, make our way over the overbridge, going past a few more hardware stores and whatnot. In the likes of Carter's there on the right hand side, and also on the left hand side, some tuck shops and also a couple of places that do some things for new homes and whatnot. But going over here on the overbridge, which does actually take you over the motorway, which unfortunately we've just ended up at the bottom of, so I think we have to re-click there and find our way back on the overbridge. And eventually we're back on Nayland Road after totaling a car there by driving off the side. We'll go down here a bit further. On the right hand side shortly, there will be one of the colleges. Unfortunately, this was taken back when there was election advertising, pesky elections and whatnot in politics and all that. We'll go down here on the right hand side, start to get now towards Nayland College. Good violin teacher there, hint hint, but going down a bit further, we now can see a few more schools to go down here and start to go past us a bit further on the right hand side. Nayland Pool, good location with a school on the other side and also a decent pop-up coffee shop. Going down a bit further, then we get to Broad Green Intermediate and we continue here down Nayland Road, start to go down a few more shops, a dairy if any of the guys want some ice cream or fish and chips. There at Two Little Fish instead of the healthy food bag at the Blackbird. Also, there's a hairdresser if we have time for that before the game. The boys there can get their trims and all that sort of stuff. But we'll go down here a bit further down Nayland Road and eventually we'll get to a roundabout where you can go right to go to Monaco, which is a kind of island which sometimes can actually get cut off if the tide's too high. We're going to turn left and go through Stoke here just a little bit, go up Songer Street and we'll actually get into the heart of Stoke itself. So just go down here a little bit past all these suburban houses and eventually should make our way towards the New World Supermarket and also a Mad Butcher, because you just can't beat the Mad Butcher's meat. Case in point here, as you can see, we'll just check the specials back here in August 2023. $13 a kilo crumb pork schnitzel, $11 a kilo pork spare ribs. So it looks like it was very much a pork week that week. Meat now, pay later. I wonder if anyone actually uses that for meat after pay. That seems like a really weird thing to use after pay for, but going forward a bit more, we have the New World, the main supermarket out there in Stoke, albeit not too far away. There is also a countdown, a few shops inside of that little square there, which we are not going to see. In the distance there is actually a park called Greenmeadows. Lots of kids sport does take place there, also the home of the Stoke Rugby Club. For rugby fans out there, I was actually thinking of giving James Lowe a shout out, but that is Waimea out in Richmond a bit more. We now take a right hand turn and actually are on the main road in Stoke, which is the road that will take us to our venue. We go past the place there called the Turf Hotel. Apparently it is the greatest place on earth. I've been there, it was pretty rubbish when I went there honestly, but we'll go past it, and also a cricket ground there in the background, past what these days is a bus stop. You can kind of see it there in the background. That is a cricket ground. Used to spend a few days there, and we'll go past a mobile service station, and this was taken on a very, very heavy traffic day, which is a bit surprising because usually most people would be on the motorway. On the left hand side there, down the road a bit, there was the Stoke Bowling Club, but going down a bit further on the left hand side shortly, we've got Stoke School. So you go down this road just a little bit soon, going to be a lot of houses, and in a bit we go past again a bit of a shopping area, which starts around here. Is on the right hand side, we make our way past the Cashmere Brewery. If you like beer and cider, that is a good place to go. Also a Z station, so you can fill up your cars, which to be fair, looking at this traffic would not be the worst idea right now. But going down a bit further on the left hand side, past the retirement village, you've got the Robinsons area, and there is a cycle shop, another booze shop, a cafe, and also a butchery, as well as a super cheap auto. So a bit of shopping in there, albeit probably not quite as good as some of the stuff, at least in terms of general items, as back in Stoke itself. Back at that right hand turn around the Greenmeadows area, but now we go past yet another apartmenty retirement village, going down a bit further, and once we make our way down towards the roundabout, which is coming up once we get past all these cars on, as I said, a very busy traffic day, which does seem a bit weird for this road out there in Stoke. Maybe this was taken when everyone was trying to make their way home from work instead of during the day, but eventually we'll get to a roundabout. And on the left-hand side, there will be Saxton Field. So we'll just keep going here, try and speed our way down this road, but it is taking just a little bit longer than I thought it would. As we keep going here, we'll eventually get there, and here is the roundabout. And we can either take a left-hand turn and go up towards the netball courts, and more importantly, a milk vending machine. So you can get fresh milk from the farm if you prefer it that way, but instead we're going to go straight, continue down Main Road Stoke. There's a sign for Saxton Field. Also there is an international cricket venue where the Black Caps and the White Ferns do play. We'll go past the bus stop here and down a little bit further, hopefully actually get our first look at the ground itself. We're going to be playing this game. You can kind of see the training fields there on the left hand side, but down a bit further, once we get our way past the training fields, unfortunately the shot we're going to get here is a little bit on the wrong side of the road, especially because there's a truck right in the way. But in behind those trees, that is the number one park there at Saxton, where this game is going to get played. So we're just going to make our way past it a little bit so we can actually drive into the ground itself. Unfortunately, the trees not giving us too much of a look at things. There's the Saxton Oval on the left hand side over the hedge there, just a little bit. We'll see if we can get a bit of a look at it. You can kind of see the pavilion, but not too much. We might be able to see it if I can actually make my way down the driveway. We'll go down here just a little bit more, go past some of the car assembly factories, and also animates for any animal loving people. That's probably where you want to go to wash your dog and whatnot. But going down a bit further, past the op shop and coming up past this bus. This was before the new buses did get installed, but here is the driveway for Saxton Field now. Can we actually get a good look at the ground from down here? We'll go down Kerry Marshall Drive and just see what we can do, because we're about to make our way in towards the parking area for the cricket oval, which, as I said, actually international quality venue, even though the council last time around actually probably made sure we won't get any more international cricket by annoying all the people at New Zealand Cricket with the alcohol advertising restrictions and whatnot. But over on the right hand side, that is Saxton Oval, where cricket does get played. Not the biggest stadium as you'd expect for a place like Nelson, but quite picturesque, quite similar to places like Hagley Oval in Christchurch, and also sort of like the Basin Reserve up in Wellington. But going down here just a bit further past the practice nets for the cricket teams, and very shortly we're going to get to Saxton Field. And on the left hand side, this is the home of Nelson Suburbs. As you can see down there, we can actually drive right in to the club rooms. This is very close here. There is Nelson Suburbs Football Club, and over the back is Saxton Field. We'll see if I can get a look at the field itself. We might be able to if we just take a park here. And over there, that is Saxton Field, where we're playing this game in the Southern League. In today's episode, and hopefully we can pick up a win and go a long way towards securing that Southern League title. And here are the team sheets for the Southern League clash, which, as I said, could take us a long way towards lifting the title this season. A 4-3-3 there for Nelson Suburbs at Saxton Field. That stadium a lot bigger than Saxton Field itself. Now, I changed it to usually first choice Barisic, now our first choice left back, and also El Ghazali is our regular first choice striker with that sale of Stephen Lopez. But apart from that, changes with Courtney Perkins at centre back, also a Tamer and Turner in defensive midfield, and our entire attacking midfield three of Walker, Brown and De Hopman de Villiers are rotation players. So quite a bit of change, but hopefully can still pick up a decent result here with the Gegenpress. And we go up to the 7-minute mark for the first highlight of this game. It's a corner here in our favour so far, definitely the team who are on the front foot. Walker there gets tripped up a little bit, no penalty, but thankfully the clearance finds the feet of Tristan Turner, one of the new signings here at Cashmere Tech. But that's a really poor touch from Louis Enrique, and Fountain Day can get in behind for Nelson Suburbs here, and then McGoldrick was tracking back so well, but brings him down, and we've given away a penalty that definitely against the run of play so far by the look of the stats in this game, and it's a chance here for Beck to give the home team a 1-0 lead, sends Hawkins the wrong way, and buries it bottom right corner Levi Beck with only his second goal of the season, and not a great start for us here at Saxton Field as we give away a penalty and Nelson Suburbs take a 1-0 lead. Albeit only a few minutes off the back of that, might be a chance for us here to grab an equaliser, a free kick inside the final third. El Ghazali takes that one and it goes there. Someone got a hit on there. I think it was a Tamer on that yellow card, but unfortunately either a save or a block there, and it does mean Nelson Suburbs can keep their 1-0 lead. It looked like there again they might get a chance on the counter-attack, but thankfully that highlight does get broken up, and shortly off the back of that, it's a free kick, albeit a bit further back, but Luis Enrique makes his way inside the box, takes on a shot, but unfortunately that one comes off the crossbar, so a decent chance there, tight angle, but the woodwork comes to the rescue of Nelson Suburbs. We're still 1-0 down, but still on the attack with a corner in our favour. McGoldrick over there looking for Teo Tamer. Unfortunately, can't quite find him, but Turner is back yet again to tidy things up. McGoldrick, one of the few first team players actually starting this game, as is Luis Enrique, seeing as he is under 20s. He has to start these games in the Southern League, but nice ball from Turner there for Nathan Walker, and he'll put it away, and eventually that pressure does result in a goal, and we make it 1-1 here at the 20-minute mark off the back. With a few highlights, we were definitely putting the pressure there on Nelson Suburbs. Eventually, we put the ball in the back of the net. That was Walker there to a Tamer, to Turner. It goes back to Nathan Walker. Good finish just inside of that left-hand post to make it 1-1. And just make it around to the last 5 minutes of this first half and eventually get one more highlight here off the back of that equaliser back at the 20-minute mark. And we're taking a short free kick too, and it finds its way forward to de Hotman de Villiers. The short free kicks, I've said it quite a bit, they are super OP, and we put that one away and grab a 2-1 lead just before halftime. Al Ghazali to Enrique. To be fair, de Hotman de Villiers was actually being marked quite tightly there, but still can beat their goalkeeper at his near post, just onside as well. That definitely could have got flagged. That might be a mistake there from the assistant referee, but to be fair, stats-wise, we probably deserve the 2-1 lead, but it looks like we're going to go into half-time with now Teo Tamer is on a yellow card, so we'll see what we do there at half-time, who can come on for him, because that might be a bit of a risk, but apart from that, pretty happy with how everyone else is going out there on the pitch. We've got Dirty Radom, who could come on, but not too sure how good he is as a ball-wing midfielder. What we could actually do instead is bring on Connor Kerwin and then move Ollie McGoldrick forward to that ball-wing midfielder. So I think we might try that for this second half, but just one change off the back of coming from a goal down to lead 2-1. And going forward to just past the hour mark for the first highlight here of the second half, and it's a throw for us here inside of the final third. Hopefully can grab a buffer goal to put this game to be a good chance there for Nathan Walker, but unfortunately Traore there with a good block to make sure that one doesn't find its way into the top right corner. We'll see if we can do something here from set piece. Walker floats that one out there for Courtney Perkins, and unfortunately that one does go just wide. Still 2-1 as we make our way into the last 25 minutes. In fact, now Tristan Turner down to a red heart, so this time we'll bring on Dirty Radom for the later stages of this game. And very short off the back of that sub, now it's a free kick here to Nelson Suburbs, obviously, because the goalkeeper takes it well outside of his box, and they do actually keep hold of the ball here and try and grab an equaliser with 23 minutes left, but thankfully that ball is far too deep and Josh Hawkins can tidy things up. Hopefully we can hold on, pick up 3 points here, and as I said, that would take us a long way to lifting the Southern League yet again, and a good clearance there which Walker gets on the end of. McGoldrick, nice ball over there for Luis Enrique. Our Brazilian makes his way inside the box, squares it for Nathan Walker this time. No block on that shot. It finds its way into the top left corner. I believe he is now on a hat-trick, and that makes it 3-1. And there's the buffer goal that we've been searching for a little while now, pretty much the entirety of the second half. But Luis Enrique, some good work there, and Walker just finds enough space to put that one top left corner and make it 3-1 Cashmere Tech. And very shortly off the back of that third goal, now we're still on the attack here with a corner. Brown will play that one in, looking for de Hotman de Villiers. Unfortunately, can't quite find him, but Gundy plays a long ball forward there, and we should win that through Barisic. Thankfully, he eventually does make his way to the ball. Did look like there briefly he might not know what was going on. Is now back on the ball a bit more centrally in an interesting position there for our left back, but Dirty Radom off the bench. We eventually get it forward to Sam Brown in there while Lorenzo Janssen is out with that injury. De Hotman de Villiers, this is that one in looking for, I think it might have been Brown, but someone got taken down, and it finds its way to Nathan Walker, who puts that one home and does indeed complete his hat-trick. 2 quick fire goals there in the second half, and that should put this game to bed. And to be fair, probably also the Southern League title for us here at Cashmere Technical, considering the 3 games we've got to end the season off the back of this 4-1, and we're about to make our way into the last 15 minutes of this game. Just keep an eye out here if there's any subs we can make. Don't think we need to do any just yet, but a highlight here is maybe this will be a chance for us to make it 5-1, but we play that one into the mixer, and Nelson Suburbs might get a chance here on the counter-attack as they now look to make their way into our half. Some good short passing, and they eventually do get the ball into the midfield and out to the left-hand side. It goes back there to Moore on that yellow card, picks out Young, just holding up play there, but now he finds Beck in a fair bit of space, and Levi Beck will pick up a double. It's a good finish there into the top right corner, past Josh Hawkins. So maybe Nelson Suburbs not quite out of this game yet. To be fair, this is the most goals we've conceded since we have switched to the gegenpress, but Beck so far causing us a few issues, albeit that first goal was from the penalty spot. They make it 4-2 as we make our way into the last 10 minutes of this clash at Saxton Field. And inside the last 5 minutes of this game, and it looks like this one might finish 4-2. There's 5 minutes of added time, and as we make our way into that, there is a highlight. We're on the attack there, lose position briefly, but somehow do end up getting it back. Barisic with a ball into the mixer. That gets blocked, and Nelson Suburbs here actually with a chance to pull this one back late. Day there with a decent chip over Hawkins, but thankfully the woodwork does come to our rescue. Fraser Brown comes on for the player there who did just hit the woodwork, and off the back of that, going to make our final sub. We will bring on, in place of de Hotman de Villiers, Gil Paquet just try and waste some time, but that will be all she wrote. To be fair, Nelson Suburbs did give us a bit to think about, but in the end, we bounced back well from that early penalty. Nathan Walker picks up a hat-trick, and also there was a goal, I believe it was, to de Hotman de Villiers, indeed it was, before we took him off late. They grabbed one back late through Levi Beck, but in the end, apart from that early penalty that was relatively comfortable, Nelson Suburbs pushed us closer than most teams have since we've gone to the gegenpress, but we pick up a 4-2 win, which does mean Christchurch United and those guys going to be in a pretty big scrap for that second qualifying spot for the National League Championship, but we should have now gone a long way towards lifting that Southern League title. And we've gone for nearly a month off the back of that 4-2 win over Nelson Suburbs, while some teams do catch up, and mainly the Northern League. We've had a break going into this quarter final of the Chatham Cup, but before then, actually found a way to sign another player on a proper professional contract, which is a bit surprising. I say proper professional, semi-professional contract. We're actually paying him a wage, even though we probably shouldn't be, because that's kind of blown out our wage budget. Might need to sell more than one player now, try and find someone else as well. As Justin Keat also scouting, we're not doing that anymore, but we have signed a player, and that is Xavier Smith as a new first choice left back, formerly of Crew Alexandra over in England. Picked him up on a free Australian, and to be fair, he is a pretty big upgrade on players like Barisic, so that's the reason that we have picked him up. We're paying him 2.5k a week, which we probably shouldn't be doing, but felt like a good idea, and to be fair, that wage budget will go down quite a bit once we make our way to the end of the season, because quite a few contracts, they will be expiring. So one new addition here at Cashmere Technical going in to this Chatham Cup Quarter Final, and the reason we're coming back for this game, apart from the fact it's against Christchurch United and those guys are right up there in terms of the Southern League, is we need to do a Chatham Cup update, because as you can see, this should be very winnable for us now, because Auckland City, they got knocked out early, so a big chance for us here to not only pick up the Chatham Cup, but also pick up a big amount of money, which could be quite useful with the financial situation here at the club. Hopefully can pick up what is the richest prize that we can pick up in the New Zealand Pyramid in this save, even bigger than the OFC Champions League. So definitely worth doing quite well in this Chatham Cup. So hopefully we can pick up a good result here against Christchurch United. If you're wondering, when Auckland City, they did get knocked out, we'll just try and find them. I think it was the round before this one, so all the way back in the third round, they got knocked out 1-0 by Western Springs, and hilariously, that goal was scored by Sebastian Pascali, the former AFC Auckland man. So one of our former AFC Auckland men knocking out the Auckland City. So that definitely opens the door for us to hopefully quite comfortably pick up the Chatham Cup this season. Other teams, Western AFC, Lower Hutt could be interesting, being an affiliate of the Wellington Phoenix. That might be an interesting game if we take them on. Got both the suburbs, Western and Eastern, and also Papamoa and Papakura from up north. Some interesting teams left in the Chatham Cup, but this is a clash between the two teams in the Southern League, still in the competition. Another team that actually drew with us earlier in the season in the league phase, but we turned it around the second time that we did play these guys. And interestingly as well, they've actually built a new stadium, have Christchurch United. That's the first time I've noticed that, but they're coming to this one in some quite good form. 5 wins from their last 5, albeit one of them was a friendly against their third tier team in the Golden Goats, which to be fair is a brilliant name, but hopefully can pick up a win here and, as I said, make the most of Auckland City getting knocked out quite early in the Chatham Cup, and hopefully we'll continue our run to the final and beat Christchurch United. And here are the team sheets for this Chatham Cup Quarter Final, which is being played at the GMP. So our new signing in Smith will start at left back, but change to our usual best 11. We've got Turner still in the DLP, Brown in the cam because Johnson is on a heavy workload, and Gil Paquette is still out right because Justin Keat did come back from holiday, got injured in a fitness friendly. So unfortunately, Justin Keat is not featuring. He's out for a couple of weeks, but to be fair, quite good timing considering we've pretty much already wrapped up the Southern League, but an early corner which Smith will take, and he picks up a very early assist in his first game, properly as a Cashmere Tech player, as Victor Ross leaps there like a Cypriot salmon at the far post, albeit these days is available for the All Whites, but a brilliant start here from a corner, and we take a very early 1-0 lead in the quarterfinal. And 10 minutes on, it's deja vu here, a corner in our favour. This time we go near post, and Smith will pick up 2 straight assists on debut, and McGoldrick will head that one home 2-0, thanks to some pretty good set-piece work and some great delivery from our new man in Xavier Smith. A good start from him, set-piece FC, and we're 2-0 up. And we go forward to just shy of the half-hour mark for the next highlight in this game, still living off that 2-0 lead thanks to those 2 corners which were scored off the back of those nice balls put in from our new signing in Xavier Smith, so far proving worth that 2.5k a week, even though probably not the greatest idea, but they're Brown with a loose touch, and Christchurch United actually might get a chance to hit us here on the counter attack. Gonzalez does get in behind with a low-driven shot there looking for the bottom right corner, but thankfully Hawkins comes up with a decent save to tip that one over the crossbar. So Christchurch United here looking to find a way back into this game. Their turn from set piece, but thankfully Simpkin will head that one over, and we're still 2-0 in front. In fact, off the back of that, there is a highlight which does start yet again Gonzalez on the ball, but thankfully that goes straight into the path of Josh Hawkins, and now look to make our way out from that. We play it back there to one of the goal scorers in Georgios Victoros. Now Turner, a good run forward, and eventually picks Schuster out, and we make our way into the opposition half. Tsukamoto makes his way forward and picks out Louis Enrique, who got quite a few assists in that previous game against Nelson Suburbs. This time looks like Smith is the player who's going to pick up quite a few assists in his competitive debut, and here he is now making his way on the ball from McGoldrick. A little bit of 1-2 between those 2 players and make it 3-4, but eventually Tsukamoto and now Victoros. Now Tsukamoto, nice ball over the top there for Al Ghazali. Was he onside? I think he was, because that is going to stand. No, it won't. The camera got a bit janky. He is offside, and we are still 2-0 in front. And just we're about to make our way into injury time here in the first half of this one. A chance for us to get in from set piece, but unfortunately Christchurch United, they do hit that one away, and actually good work there from Victoros to hustle back and get that ball for us. Hopefully can find a way to maybe put this game to bed before half time, and then see if we can rest some key players in the second half of this one. Not too sure actually when the semi-finalist competition is going to take place. A bit of a tackle there from O'Driscoll on Brown, but thankfully they do just then clear it straight back into the path of us. They then hoof it deep, and Victoros can tidy things up for us yet again in this highlight. Nice ball over the top there for Enrique for Gil Paquette. Inside the byline, that's a wonderful bit of skill from Gil Paquette. Absolutely does 2 defenders there for Christchurch United and puts that one away past their goalkeeper in Cowan. That's a wonderful individual goal from Gil Paquette, the Angolan, who apparently isn't that far away from an international call-up. Hopefully that won't be the case, especially with skill like that. Nutmegs the goalkeeper as well. That is a wonderful goal just before half-time, and we'll go into the sheds with a 3-0 lead. And to be fair, everyone out there on a good rating and on a pretty decent green HUD as well, so I think no changes needed. This one is going very well. Hopefully we'll do more of the same and book our ticket for the Chatham Cup semis. And it's taken 10 minutes of the second half for us to get the first highlight of this one, looking to build here on our 3-0 lead, but hopefully already have gone a long way to making the final 4 here of the Chatham Cup, going one step further than we did with the All Whites at the FIFA World Cup. Leo Enrique there with a chance. He actually forces a decent save there out of Cowan and goal, making up for the fact he got nutmegged earlier by Gil Paquette. That was a wonderful goal. Now set piece, McGoldrick does get his head on the end of that one, but unfortunately just goes wide. And now Louis Enrique has picked up a yellow card, so we'll take him off for Barisic, albeit to do that, you have to bring on Connor Kerwin to make sure we keep up with the under-20 limit. So I think we'll bring him on for McGoldrick, seeing as Victoros, a bit more of a threat from set piece. That's looking quite dangerous in this game. So 2 changes there, just shy of the hour mark, as we're still 3-0 in front. And a couple of minutes on from those changes that we did make, and also a free kick to Christchurch United, which they did put over the bar. Now they've got a chance here from set piece. Hawkins will punch that one clear, albeit only into the path of Terry Jones, who then beats Hawkins at his near post. Not great work there from him. I'm not too sure if commentary's blaming him because of the punch clear or the save attempt. I'll blame him for getting beaten more at his near post, because the Beefier did make contact with that ball, but then just no one picks up Jones there on that left-hand side. Hawkins gets a touch, but can't keep it out of the back of net, and the gap is close to 2 goals. And now we're about to make our way into the last 20 minutes of this game. And actually, El Ghazali on a fair rating, so Gilbert can come on with our last sub. And just about to make our way into the last 15 minutes of this game, there is a highlight here. Christchurch United with a goal kick. Hopefully can put some good pressure on them here, seeing as these days we are using a gegenpress, but so far we've actually made our way through our defence quite comfortably. But good work there from Barisic to eventually win that ball back for us, and hopefully we can just score one more goal here to put this one to bed, because if Christchurch United do get a goal back, that could make this game a bit interesting. Shusha inside the box was looking there for Gilbert, I think, but O'Driscoll, who got done earlier by Paquette on the attack, this time across, and he scores an own goal, and that should guarantee our spot in the final 4 by making it 4-1. Shusha looking there for Gilbert. It would have been Paquette on the other side, and O'Driscoll, to be fair, had to try and do something, but that's an own goal. He's not having a good day out there. Is the Christchurch United centre-back as we make our way into the last 10 minutes. We're now 4-1 in front. In fact, before we can wrap that up, now it's a corner here in our favour. Smith will play that one for Brown. Gets interfered with a bit, but apparently no penalty. And Tsukamoto's back there to tidy things up for it. Plays it back forward to Barisic, who does run backwards, having come on for Louis Enrique at right back with that dual switch, with Kerwin coming on to make sure we did have enough under-20 players. Now Smith floats that one far post for Michael James Gilbert. This time he will pick up a goal, and Xavier Smith with one heck of a debut competitive performance here at Cashmere Technical. That's now 3 assists for the Australian. He's looking like he's worth every penny in terms of the wage that we're paying for him, because of course we picked him up on a free, as you'd expect probably from a player from Crew Alexandra, doing a good job in the National League of New Zealand, especially the Southern League in the National League. That makes it 5-1. This game as good as over. A highlight starts, but a ball there looking far post, and Hawkins can claim that one nice and safely. Takes his time here as we make our way into the last couple of minutes of this game. Pumps it deep, but unfortunately Gilbert can't quite win that one in the end. Now James will pick out a Christchurch United player there, Gonzalez. A good tackle from Barisic, but somehow they keep hold of the ball. And actually, good long-range shot there, but thankfully just goes high and just goes wide. We're going to have 3 minutes of added time in this game, but so far the gegenpress doing a pretty good job for us with this team here at Cashmere Technical. Late corner, but thankfully that one goes just wide. Those early set pieces really got us on the front foot in this game with those goals to both our centre-back, Xavier Smith. As I said, very good debut with 3 assists, and we've made our way pretty safely through to the semi-finals of the Chatham Cup, as I said, like I hope we would, considering the money on offer, especially with no Auckland City still in the competition. We're through the semis off the back of a 5-1 win over Christchurch United. So 2 pretty good wins for us there during the course of today's episode in the Southern League over Nelson Suburbs, and also in that quarter-final of the Chatham Cup over Christchurch United, doing well without some of our former key players, in particular Adam White and also Justin Keat. We can probably get by without him, so maybe we'll look to sell him, help fix that wage issue that we do have going on. To be fair, might be better for the All Whites if he makes his way over to the MLS. Anyway, we'll just see who we're going to get in the next round of the Chatham Cup. You can actually see there 60k for that win in the quarterfinal, which is very nice. But going up a bit further, we're going to be taking on the affiliate of the Wellington Phoenix in Lower Hutt City. This is the only chance we're actually going to get to play them in the save, because they can't make their way into the National League Championship. So that is an interesting tie in the semi-final. If we win that, we'll get one of Eastern Suburbs or Western Suburbs in the final. So an interesting semi-final for us there. We take on Lower Hutt, albeit this season they're not doing quite as well as they were last time around, down in 5th in the Central League. But that will do it for today's episode, our first one back with Cashmere Technical off the back of the 2030 FIFA World Cup. Should really be picking up the Southern League title, and fingers crossed also defending the Chatham Cup yet again. If you enjoyed today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well when we come back tomorrow. Actually not too sure what we'll come back for. We could come back for that semi-final, because to be fair, that's the only interesting game we've got coming up before we do eventually head in to the National League Championship phase of the season. So I'm not too sure if we come back tomorrow and try and wrap up the Chatham Cup, or if we do something else if I get bored a little bit further. But until I see you for tomorrow's episode here with Cashmere Technical, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.